Welcome. This is Reintegration, the program where we bring you updates about developmental efforts of the Zulum administration. I am Jessie Tafida. In the aftermath of conflicts, women, children, and the most vulnerable carry the heaviest burden. In Borno State, countless women have been widowed, displaced, or left to rebuild their lives after experiencing profound losses and trauma visited on them by the Boko Haram insurgency. But amid these challenges, efforts are in place to restore hope, rebuild lives, and ensure that no one is left behind. On this week's episode of the program, we focus on Borno State Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development, which is saddled with the task of addressing the needs of the victims. Before we bring you all this, let's give you the latest on Borno today. In a region known for its diversity and resilience, stakeholders from across the Northeast gathered under one roof, united by a common purpose: to reshape the nation's supreme legal document to better reflect today's realities and regional aspirations. The Northeast Zonal public hearing on the review of Nigeria's 1999 constitution featured input from elected representatives, civil society organizations, youth groups, women leaders, traditional institutions, and citizens from the 6 states of the region.
These amendments tackle various issues related to good governance, institutional strengthening, and national aspirations. However, several fundamental issues of national importance remain unresolved, requiring more than just routine lawmaking by the National Assembly and state houses of assembly.
We in the Northeast will carefully review and screen the proposed bill and select those that best serve the interests and the aspirations of our people.
Other proposals included Katangum State from Bauchi, Amana and Highland States from parts of Gombe and Borno, Tangalawa from southern Gombe, reflecting decades of agitations for local autonomy and improved administrative efficiency.
This amendment is not going to be the last, because constitutional amendments arise to adapt to societal changes.
But the demands didn't end there. Many participants also raised strong voices in favor of gender inclusion, calling for constitutional guarantees for more women in the national and state assemblies. The forum also spotlighted key constitutional gaps in Nigeria's security architecture. Participants called for the decentralization of policing through constitutional support for local government and state police as a way to address the region's unique security challenges. The review committee, chaired by the representatives of the National Assembly, pledged to transmit the collective input of the Northeast to the Central Committee for consideration in the national constitutional amendment process. As Nigeria continues its journey towards a more inclusive and responsive constitution, the voices from the Northeast are making it clear: representation, fairness, and security must be at the heart of any amendment. The newly equipped ICT center, donated by players in Nigeria's banking industry, comes at a crucial time when Borno State is steadily rebuilding its education system, severely disrupted by over 14 years of insurgency. The center is fully equipped with computers, internet access, and learning software, all tailored to meet the academic needs of nursing and midwifery students.
At Keystone Bank, we believe that investing in education is one of the most powerful ways to contribute to the progress of the nation. I remain committed to supporting initiatives that foster learning and innovation.
At the official handover, Borno State government expressed deep appreciation, describing the project as a powerful step towards restoring quality education in the state.
In today's rapidly evolving world, technology is no longer a luxury, but an absolute necessity. The renovation of this ICT library, made possible by Keystone, is just not a new building. It is about creating an environment for dynamic learning and innovation.
For many of these students, it's the first time they'll interact with real-time digital resources, an essential tool in today's medical profession.
We are really grateful for their contributions toward the academic excellence of this institution by providing the computers and then the well-equipped chairs for this great institution.
The first commitment we will use is to avail ourselves in this room and to make very good use of whatever the government has provided for us, especially the computers.
As Borno continues to heal from years of conflict, investments like this ICT center serve as a reminder that education remains the backbone of recovery, and these students its strongest hope. With access to this modern ICT facility, students of the College of Nursing at Midwifery now have the tools to dream bigger, learn faster, and serve better. It's a win for education, a win for the health, and above all, a win for the future of Borno. The Minister of Regional Development, Abubakar Momo, arrived in Maiduguri to see firsthand what the Northeast Development Commission is doing on ground. His first stop was the Borno State Government House, where he met with the Deputy Governor and other top state officials, commending their collaboration with the Commission.
We are here in Borno State, particularly in Maiduguri, to see for ourselves the activities of the Northeast Development Commission, which is one of the establishments under the supervision of the ministry.
I want to appreciate the President through you that our state government remain committed to ensuring that the renewed hope agenda implementation in state levels are in high gear in our state and other states in Nigeria.
The visit then moved to one of the most significant projects executed by the NEDC, a newly constructed 45-kilometer road network connecting Koshebe, Zabarmari, Gosuma, and surrounding communities. These roads are not just physical connections, they are lifelines for communities that rely heavily on agriculture. The Jere Bowl axis, known for its farming activities, now has a better access to markets and services, potentially transforming the local economy.
Full of praises for the management and the board of Northeast Development Commission. This is all what the Renew Hope agenda of Mr. President is all about. That is to promote the economic activities of the rural community.
The minister also inspected other critical projects, including housing units, schools, and healthcare centers, some completed, others still ongoing. He emphasized that President Tinubu's administration remains committed to rebuilding communities devastated by insurgency, stressing that the Renewed Hope agenda is not just a slogan, but a promise in action. As the minister wraps up his visit, the message is clear. Federal and regional cooperation through bodies like the NEDC remains crucial to healing the wounds of the past and laying the foundation for a more resilient Northeast. After over a decade of relentless insurgency, Maiduguri, once the epicenter of Boko Haram attacks, is gradually finding its rhythm again. The scars of the conflict remain. Houses destroyed, families displaced, and livelihoods shattered. But through the resilience of its people and the sacrifices of security operatives, hope is returning. Governor Babagana Zulum's support to the military in form of operational logistics, equipment, and morale-boosting welfare packages is being acknowledged by both the people and the military. Theatre Commander Operation Hat in K Major General Abdul Salam Abubakar says the military has been recording successes against Boko Haram and ISWAP terrorists.
In the last 2 months, we have been re-strategizing and reorganizing. Additional platforms and personnel are being inducted into the theater. The military is fully resolved and resourced to bring the battle to a favorable conclusion. Our troops are highly motivated and our resilience is not dampened.
Residents say life in Maiduguri is slowly returning to normal, with market reopening and nighttime movement improving.
Today, people are traveling free from here to Bama, Goza, from here to Gamborungala, Damasak, Baga, and other things. At least before now you go to Yamaturu, you must to spend about 5 hours. Before you can see a lot of roadblocks, you can see military base in different wards of the state. But today you find nothing.
The relative peace being enjoyed now has inspired hope that Borno can reclaim its lost identity as the home of peace. Yet, the journey ahead remains long, especially for those in remote villages where remnants of insurgents still operate. Residents are calling for more coordinated military effort and sustained government intervention to consolidate the gains made. As Borno gradually rises from the ruins of war, many believe that with continued collaboration between security operatives, government and communities, the dream of a truly peaceful state is not just possible, it's within reach. In a state where security challenges have shaped daily lives for over a decade, changes at the top of the police hierarchy are always closely watched. At his first official press briefing in Maiduguri, the new Commissioner of Police, Abdul Majid, came with a clear message. He's here to listen, engage, and act.
This command under my leadership will adopt a professional, intelligence-led, and community-oriented policy approach that will address the unique security challenges facing our state. We will work relentlessly to sustain and improve the gains recorded in the fight against crime, insurgency, and other threats to public society.
CP Abdul Majid says his strategy is built on trust between the police and the public, something he believes is key to sustaining the gains made so far.
We will enhance visibility policy, strengthen cooperation with sister security agencies, and deepen our partnership with traditional institutions, religious leaders, community groups, and the media. I appeal to the public for cooperation, information sharing, and mutual trust. My doors remain open to suggestions and constructive engagement.
His comment came at a time when Borno is gradually regaining peace, and many residents are optimistic that the new CP's vision could further improve public safety. Already, the command has recorded a series of breakthroughs in recent operations, from arresting suspects to disrupting criminal hideouts, efforts that the new commissioner hopes to strengthen. As CP Abdul Majid settles into his new role, residents of Borno will be watching closely, hoping his words translate to stronger action on the ground. Many children have been orphaned, girls denied access to education, and communities displaced due to 13-year Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast. The social fabric has been tested and in many cases torn, with the State Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development helping women pick the pieces of their lives. Now let's bring you the concluding part of the conversation I had with the Commissioner, Zue Regambo, who spoke about post-conflict recovery, empowerment programs, and other efforts of the Zulum administration in social welfare and inclusion in the states. Welcome to Borno Restoration. As the Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development, one huge task of this ministry is the aspect of rehabilitation and reintegration of surrendered and repentant terrorists. And you're not doing this only here alone, but across the Northeast region. Talk to us on how you're managing these cases and how you're reintegrating them, washing up their brains, because we have seen you at the camp together with them, trying to give them some new recreational activities to wipe away all those thoughts that they have.
Yes, but I think before I respond to that, I want to establish the fact that 90% of the so-called repentant insurgents were themselves victims. We need to understand that. They were victims as a result of being found at the wrong time quite often, in the wrong place at the wrong time, whatever. So they themselves were abducted into the bush. Over a period of time, they are now co-opted into living with these insurgents under duress. So it's not everybody you see that is being addressed as a repentant that actually went into this insurgency on their own. If you trace their movement and history from how they joined the insurgency, you realize that they were taken either away on the farms, in school, or even in the marketplace. So having established that, with the window that was provided by the government on the surrender program, a lot of them now exited. And again, the majority of those that exited were farmers who were being used as slaves in the bush. So people need to understand that instead of generalizing that every repentant must have been a fighter, no. And even when they join us in the camps, they are categorized into different groups. We have, among the fighters, low risk and high risk. The high risks are very, very minimal. But the low risks includes children that are unaccompanied and separated from their parents. We have people living with disabilities. We have widows. We have orphaned children. These are minors who have no business being in the bush in the first instance. But maybe after abduction, they were given birth to there. And so when they exit, they are all being seen as former insurgents. So when they come into our custody, we classify them, categorize them based on their historical antecedents. Thereafter, the traditional rulers, the religious leaders, the local government officials are brought in to assess and ascertain how, where, when they were taken. As for the farmers, they have no case to answer because it's a clean situation. But for those that were involved with the insurgency directly, maybe being sent as spies or even looking after their animals and whatever, we now keep them in the camp and begin the process of de-radicalization, especially disengaging their minds from the dogged idea that was planted in them. And this we do with seasoned clericals and Islamic scholars who know the religion inside out. It's a gradual process. But by the time they spent at least 6 months in Hajj camp or Bulunkutu or Shokari, they are able to understand that they were misguided. And honestly, if you have a conversation with them at the time of arrival, and after some time, you realize that what they were doing was nothing but indoctrination. Having done, as the radicalization is going on, we also initiate the process of case management. You classify them. Some have trauma coming out of the bush. Some were abused, especially the women. Some lost parents and siblings, depending on their status that will be established by the medical personnel. We begin to administer rehabilitation processes where we'll provide mental health and psychosocial support. Meanwhile, while they are there, we begin to introduce them to the basic form of Islamic and Western education. We have temporary learning spaces across the camps. And as they progress, when they can read and write, they are introduced to skill acquisition. All of the three categories simultaneously get training, where we find out that the health status is beyond being managed in the camp. We have alliances with tertiary medical institutions like Umaru Shehu Hospital, like the General Hospital, and even the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital, Keystone, and the Neuropsychiatric Hospital, because we do register a lot of mental health issues.
Okay. That's very good. Now, as a commissioner, what legacy would you like to, leave as the commissioner in this ministry?
I think the number one legacy is the turnaround of the ministry in terms of structural presentation and the capacity of the staff that we've been able to build over the years. But most importantly, when we look at the number of children, women and children that we have been able to empower in terms of economic development, and those abandoned, separated, and unaccompanied children, through very diligent and meticulous family tracing processes, we are able to reunite and reconcile them with their communities. And of course, our orphaned children, that through the support and collaboration with especially the Ministry of Education, we are able to send them to school. As I speak, we have about 23 that are in the university on the state government scholarship. So these are legacies that will stand the test of time, because out of nothing, we have been able to bring up children that are being groomed into leaders of tomorrow. Children that were hitherto abandoned, separated, or unaccompanied from their families, who are now part and parcel of their communities. And in addition, would want to be remembered for our role in managing the surroundings that have come out of the bush, and even those that have come out and have passed through the Operation Safe Corridor in Gombe. They are brought back to Borno State, and we also reintegrate them with the communities. That, we believe, is critical, because we are contributing our quota in the security improvement or development of the state, because these former insurgents are now well-behaved members of the community and are supporting the work, the state in different ways. So I think we would want to be remembered for all of this.
And finally, what message do you have to the good people of Borno State?
Well, I think we want to thank them for the support to His Excellency, our principal, and also to the Ministry of Women Affairs. Initially, people see us as women, but now everybody has realized that women can indeed contribute to the growth and development of the society. So we're urging them to continue to give us that support, especially in alerting us where there are cases of abuses of women and children, even the youth, to come out and speak. And we also want to believe that that barrier, that culture of silence, we have been able to break it, because we receive numbers of reports from the communities. We have very good, excellent relationship with our traditional rulers, with our traditional leaders, and even with officials of government. We want to thank them and urge everybody to continue to support our activities.
Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development, Zuwaira Gambo, thank you for your time on Borno Restoration.
It's always my pleasure.
And that's the much we can take on this week's episode of Borno Restoration. Next week, it's going to be a fresh episode. Many thanks for watching. I am Justy Tofida. See you next time. Bye-bye.